From Spud Bros to the Steel City Derby.
We've got all this and more on This Week in Sheffield. Welcome back to This Week in Sheffield. I'm Thea.
I'm Orko, and this week we're bringing you the top stories surrounding Sheffield's universities and beyond.
Here are today's top headlines.
A 15-year-old boy has been arrested after a 16-year-old boy was shot on the street in Sheffield.
Sheffield's Women's Collective held a march to protest against sexual violence in all of its forms.
Viral sensation Spud Bros opened their first store in Fargate, with students and locals alike treating themselves to a warm spud. Also coming up, we have this week's sports and weather updates. A 15-year-old boy has been detained on suspicion of conspiracy to commit murder after a teenager was shot on Monday. Police responded to reports of the shooting at 5:15 p.m. at London Road on Monday, and the victim, who was found with an injury consistent with the gunshot, was taken to the hospital, where he remains in critical condition. Sheffield Superintendent Martin Simcock said, "Gun crime and violent crime has no place in South Yorkshire, and the fact that a young boy is fighting for his life is appalling and will not be tolerated."
Detective Chief Inspector Emma Knight said, "This is a terrible incident that has left a boy fighting for his life, and I know those in our community will be deeply concerned. I want to assure residents that a dedicated team of officers and staff are working tirelessly to understand the circumstances that led to this attack and to trace those responsible. We need you to work with us and provide any information you have. This is not acceptable on our streets, so we must work together to stop it. Police are asking for anyone with information to call 101, quoting incident number 640, or to get in touch online."
On Saturday, 15th November, Sheffield Women's Collective hosted a march to reclaim the night, a protest against gender and sexual-based violence. The march in Sheffield was carried out with support from several organisations like Catcalls of Sheffield, the university's Feminist Society, Love Music, Hate Racism and more, with hundreds of people in attendance. Our reporters Lulu Johnson-Knight and Jenna Smith attended the protest to find out more.
Hundreds of people are gathering in Encliffe Park this evening to reclaim the night in a protest march. The march will span from Encliffe Park to Devonshire Green, followed by speeches from advocates standing in solidarity with women's safety and against sexual and gender-based violence.
My name is Sky Turner and I am one of the founders of Sheffield Women's Collective. And Reclaim the Night is something that is so important and has so much history. It was started here in Yorkshire, so we knew that we had to bring it to Sheffield this year. We need to see more protection for women. We need better street lighting. We need more safe spaces in the centre of the city. We need places where that women can go. We also need to fight against the culture that women going out are automatically setting themselves up to be victims.
Reclaim the Night marches began in Yorkshire in the 1970s, when the Yorkshire Ripper was on the loose for 2 years and police gave women a curfew to stay out of public places after dark. The march now spans across the UK, and the movement has continued to push for the right to be safe, no matter the time of day, and welcomes people of all genders and communities.
My name is Avis Azari and I am the University of Sheffield Student Union's Gender Equity Representative Councillor and also their Gender Equity Liberation Facilitator. I'm more involved in activism around gender equality, especially from the trans person point of view. I am a trans person, but I've also, growing up as AFAB, I've also experienced a lot of that misogyny that's taken towards women and girls. And I'm angry about it and I want to do something about it.
Sheffield loves its comfort food, and this week there's a new contender on the block. Viral internet sensation Spud Bros, who boast more than 7 million followers across socials, are now serving jacket potatoes to Sheffield city centre like you've never seen them before. We sent our reporters Tom Clough and Holden Carr to see what's cooking at the new store.
This week in Sheffield, we're here at the newly opened Spud Bros Express in Fargate. Let's get inside and see what the hype's about. Yes, that'd be great. Yeah. Mark would be up for it. Is that everything Thanks so much. So today we're here with
Ollie.
And what have you gotten today from Spud Bros?
I got the Tram Classic, beans, cheese, garlic butter, tram sauce, crispy onions.
I mean, I do say it looks very good. Why don't you give it a try and give us a little on-site review?
I give it an 8.5.
8.5. It's a pretty high rating for Spud Bros.
I thought I was going outside. I might.
Post Spud, how'd you find them?
It was magnificent. 10 out of 10 experience, 100% recommend.
Any words?
Yeah, delicious. 10 out of 10 would have a go.
Like crispy onions and chum sauce?
So good. It's so good.
We drove from Leeds
Yeah,
for
we
this,
drove all the way
and
from
like
Leeds.
I'm happy to drive again.
And it's your first time trying them?
First time in Sheffield, first time Spud Bros, 10 out of 10.
Get yourself
sensational.
Love it.
Awesome. I've been Tom Clough. And I've been Holden Carr. And that's This Week in Sheffield.
Now, the biggest sports event this weekend in Sheffield was the Steel City Derby, which caused disruption across Hillsborough, with tram services reduced to ensure violence between Blades and Owls fans was kept to a minimum. Hundreds of police officers were drafted in to keep the fans separated before kick-off. Sports reporter Adam has more.
The 147th Steel City Derby saw an away victory for Sheffield United as they cruised past Wednesday 3-0 with goals from Tyrese Campbell and Tom Cannon. With both teams starting the day inside the bottom three of the championship table, this was due to be a match-up for the history books. Our sports reporter Max Morris was at Hillsborough before the match.
Well, it's not been the best start to the season for Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, as they both struggle for form and their own problems mount. This is more than just a game though, this is more than points. This is bragging rights over the city until they meet again. Even though both sides are struggling for quality at a time where they are needing it most, this is passion. This is the Owls versus the Blades. This is Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United.
I feel like obviously we just came out of something big, so I feel like the players are more ready to go for this game, and I think they just got more motivation for the game than the United players do. I just think that new chapter again, just starting fresh, I feel like that's what gives us the confidence to sort of go on.
A bit nervous, I think, probably like most people. Looking forward to it though. Yeah, I'm confident that we can get a result today. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think we'll get there, get over the line. I think relegation is imminent. I think the points deduction has cost us, even if we get new players in the January transfer window with a new owner. I think it's too much to make up.
Sheffield Wednesday were automatically deducted 12 points when they filed for administration on the 24th of October. Since then, 3 different parties have provided proof of funds, and the administrators are confident they will find a buyer soon.
But on the pitch, it's been tough for the Owls.
They are currently sat on -4 points, with only 1 win in their first 15 games. The atmosphere around the club has improved, with a boycott coming to a halt after Chiseri had left, but the Owls' relegation looks imminent. Since Wilder's return, Sheffield United have only taken 10 points from 10 games, as Wilder finds himself at the opposite end of the table as to where he was last season. Even though performances have improved, the Championship is ruthless, and they will need to start turning those positive performances into points on the board.
This is what local derbies are all about. 2 struggling sides desperate for 3 points. This is without a doubt the biggest game of the season so far for both sides. They are both in the relegation zone. Who will come out on top today?
Moving away from football briefly, our Sheffield basketball teams have had mixed results. Hatters were narrowly defeated by 5 points in their clash with Caledonia Gladiators. Fan favourite Megan Mullings was sadly not celebrating a victory on her birthday, but they face Manchester on Saturday, who they have already beaten this season. The Sharks, however, were on the right side of their result as they trounced Manchester's men's team 98-79 at the Cannon Medical Arena. They currently sit joint second in the table as they are level with the Bristol Flyers on 14 points. They are just 4 points behind league leaders London Lions. Their next game is against Newcastle Eagles on the 5th of December. On to ice hockey now, and the Steelers thrashed Manchester Storm 5-0 at Utilita Arena. They also sit second in the table, but they are level on points with league leaders Nottingham Panthers. And on to our Sheffield University team news now. It was a successful week for our Bucks teams. Our netball first team narrowly lost out against a tough Durham side as their game finished 34-44. The men's football ones clinched a victory over Northumbria in a fantastic 5-1 win. That's 12 goals scored and only 2 conceded in their last 2 games. They face Leeds Beckett in the Northern Conference Cup next time out. Our women also claimed another happy home victory over Northumbria in a thrilling 3-2 scoreline after a dominant display. For more on that, head over to our Instagram to hear my full analysis at full time. And finally, our American football team, the Sabres, won their first home fixture of the season. They beat Leicester Longhorns 32-6 to make their 3rd victory out of 4 games this season. Unfortunately, due to cold weather, all hockey fixtures were cancelled last week, but they should be back next week. That's all for now. Don't forget to follow Forge Sport on Instagram for all the latest every Wednesday. I've been Adam Foxsmith. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks so much for that, Adam. It's now time for the weather. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like winter's now in full swing. Tasia, what's the rest of the week looking like?
The mornings recently have been pretty frosty, and that's no different from today, but we have had some nice light sunshine, which has been a really good change. However, that's not going to last very much longer as we've got some strong, heavy clouds coming through from the west, and that's going to cover most of the country. So it's going to be quite overcast, and with that will come some light showers and heavy winds, which is pretty usual for Sheffield anyway. Right now we're in some double-digit temperatures, so it's not too cold, but as we go into next week, the temperatures are going to drop and we won't be seeing anything warmer than 9 degrees. However, although it says 9 degrees, it's still going to feel a lot colder than that, so stay wrapped up and stay warm. If you shaved your head for November, I feel bad for you. You're going to need to double up with the hats. However, as much as it is getting colder, to me this means that Christmas is coming, so Mariah Carey's definitely defrosting and it's time to get the Christmas movies on. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and we'll see you next time. That's all from me.
Well, at least there's some positives in there.
Yeah.
I've had Christmas music on since the start of the month, so I feel pretty prepared.
Well, that's all for now. We will be back next time to give you more updates. Have a great rest of your week. In the meantime, make sure you follow This Week in Sheffield on socials to stay in the loop.
Bye for now.